And so welcome to the December Nutrition Coordinators meeting. It is our last meeting of the year. And so what we'll do is we'll just kind of get started and go around and see what everybody's up to. Let us know how things are going in your area if you have any concerns and kind of wrap up the year here. And then after we go through everyone, if you have questions or things you want to discuss, please let us know. I'll send out I was on our coordinators call through ACL earlier today, and they had a guest presenter who was talking about a couple websites that were like SNAP-Ed websites that had older adult stuff on it, which was kind of cool. So I will send you those links, and you can kind of go through them, and there's places you can click for older adults or in the search, or also there's a drop down thing where you can click and there's some good programs there. So well, anyways, well, Samantha, do you want to go ahead and get started out there and at Aon?
Sure. Not really anything, I guess, too new. I've been working on site visits and just trying to get some of those in. Um, Something super exciting because out here we don't have internet and computers at our sites. So in Chapel, VistaBeam finally put a couple of computers in there, and now they're going to be working on gearing, and it's super cool because they're going through cyber safety and stuff with our older adults, and that's kind of exciting and big for us because we don't have a lot of that out here. Um, Aside from that, everything at the site seems to be going okay. Um, our numbers ebb and flow. I don't know. To-goes are still really strong. We have a lot of people getting a lot of use out of those. Um, and I feel like it just really depends on, now a lot of people are with family, so we might see a dip this month. I don't know. But overall, I think we are getting a lot of new participants. I'm doing intakes with people daily, so that's pretty exciting for us. Yeah, I'm just working on getting out to my sites and seeing how things are going, and yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, that's great, and that's good news about gearing. That's really good news. Um, you said gearing and
Chapel already got
Chapel.
theirs, and so gearing,
Okay.
gearing is gonna be
Yes.
next. So yeah,
Oh, that's so good to hear.
yeah.
That's so good to hear. My dad lived in Chapel a couple. He lived there. He lived in Oshkosh. I'm there from
Yeah.
Oshkosh, but I think they moved to Chapel for a little while, so he has memories of that. But that's cool.
Cheryl's from Chapel, so those are
Oh,
your
she.
people. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Hey, great. That's really cool. Well, very good to hear. Any questions for Samantha at Aon? All right. If not, let's move on to Jill. I think you were on next. What's going on at Aging Partners?
Things have been going good. I am back from maternity leave for about the last 3 weeks, so just kind of getting caught up on things here. We had our recent monitoring visit with the state. Eric, we did that by Zoom, and I think overall that went really well. Um, we were able to kind of showcase our partnership with our Asian Community Center, which I think I heard went really well, so that was good. We have a Strong Bodies class going on in Saline County. We have that as 2 times a week, so they're doing 4 classes per week, and it's been going very, very well out there. So that's been a popular program that we've been able to get out to that area. I've talked about our Hispanic pop-up in Crete before. Previously, we were doing it at 2 times a week. We've recently expanded it to 4 times, or sorry, 2 times per month. We've expanded it to now 4 times per month, and which has been a really good um, resource for the Hispanic community in Crete. We've also gotten a new pop-up center in Crete that's not specifically tied to the Hispanic community, where we're doing congregate meals, as a pop-up center one time per month. And I think we just started it and we had about 15 people. So that was really, really good to expand into that area. Um, let's see. Health inspector is making his way around. So we've gotten some really good inspections off of that, and it's always a good learning for our center managers just to make sure that they're doing things correctly. So that's been good. Other than that, we just had our holiday meals this last week, and our participation numbers have increased with that, and things are going well. So I will say in some of we're not doing the to-go meals in Lincoln, but some of our rural areas are doing it. And we had one center that during harvest was doing about 10 to-go meals per day with people who don't normally come into the center. So it was a really good opportunity for them to increase that awareness in a community where there isn't a whole lot of options. So they were really, really proud of that, and they're happy to be able to implement the to-go meals in that aspect. So that's about it.
Wow, that's all great. That sounds awesome, Jill. And first of all, welcome back.
Thank you.
Glad to have you back. And yeah, that's just really neat. The Asian Community Center was great when we visited. I know you were out, but yeah, when Kay and Laura and I went there, it was just really neat. So what a cool thing. And then doing the pop-ups, that's so neat too. So great work. Great work. Any questions for Jill at Aging Partners? Very good. Let's go on to Angie. I think we were next.
Hello. Well, besides getting ready for Christmas, we had our directors meeting, which Rachel was kind enough to come out and talk to us all about bingo size, which I found was great. So I appreciate that, Rachel. Hopefully we'll have some enthusiasm going from that meeting to get something started in January or February, sometime soon. We're going to start the assessments, our yearly visits next month, which we're a little behind because we've been short staffed. So we're going to squeeze 1 or 2 in extra each month, which is going to be kind of difficult to do. Other than that, the numbers are staying about the same, staying pretty strong. We lost one director, replaced, and now we're losing another director. And we have another one that's put her resignation in, but she put it back in September. Unfortunately, they haven't found a replacement for her yet. So
Oh, shoot.
she might be there a while if she keeps waiting for that.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
So,
shoot.
but otherwise, yeah, it seems like there's always that turnover.
Comes in waves, it seems like, with
It
everyone.
does.
It just comes in waves. And yep, I know there was a while everybody was like holding steady, and then, things just happen. And sometimes they happen at the end of the year, or sometimes people are looking for something new.
Yeah.
So, but well, very good. Well, that's great. And the bingo size, that's great. Starting that has become so popular. I'm really glad that Rachel was able to hop over and show you guys some stuff. So,
She gave a great presentation.
well, that's great. That is awesome. Any questions? Anything else, Angie, or any questions for Angie at West Central? Okay, if not, we'll go to Rachel at Midland. Speaking of bingo size.
I'm sitting at someone else's desk and I keep moving their mouse and it wasn't working on my laptop. Sorry about that.
That's okay, don't worry.
No, I actually have been out quite a bit. After I gave my fun presentation, I got sick and I just came back on Monday. So now I am playing a whole lot of catch up. Um, so that's been my month really. But I did do some work from home. I'm really trying to just figure out a way to keep track of what everybody's doing, because I think that's kind of where I'm struggling, of just they can say they're doing it and I can look up everything, but the time it takes to look up, and it's just so time consuming. I just wish there was an easier method to double check every so often, and maybe it's my limited peer place knowledge. I don't know. But I'm just really trying to work on an easier method to make sure things are getting updated, and you know, see who's very far behind, or who's not marked as passed away, or just all those things. And then I'm really trying to work on some different opportunities for maybe doing bingo size. I know. Um, it isn't the only thing I think about, but it's very easy to monitor and put out there, and it's so underutilized, funding wise. So I'm kind of looking at maybe talking to like some independent living places or some assisted living places, and offering, hey, if this is open to the public, if you're willing to open up your facility to the public for them to come, I'd be willing to train your activity person in this program. You'd have to provide me with the data, but then we could help support it while they did the work, because they're already there doing all of the things. Um, and I don't know, we have some very active assisted livings in a couple of our counties that people come into all the time for support groups and music events and everything else. And so at least places that are like that are very community involved, maybe they could be a great resource to provide the service. That's
Yeah,
my
it seems like
my
it's
new
just so
venture.
easy. Yeah. No, yeah, and it seems like it's such an easy way to transfer that course with training. It's just I think that's been one of the best things for, increasing 3D services is just the mode and class that you offer, and not
Right.
having to train extensively and being able to just, yeah, make it spread easy, I guess. That's what you
Yes,
wanted to do.
it smears real well.
Yes, it does. It's the one thing you want to spread easy. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So, and it's a lot more affordable than some of the other courses. So,
Yeah.
well, awesome. Well, that sounds great. And thank you too again for kind of championing this, when it came out, and helping other area agencies too, and being an advocate for that, because I think it's one thing that we're really just trying to reach that population that probably hasn't done any physical activity at all, and we're just getting them to try to move. I
Right.
think just get them to try to move, because then maybe they take that home and do that at home, and that can just make a world of a difference between somebody, being able to handle themselves when they get up and ambulate, or just falling and then having a
And even
catastrophic.
if not, even if
Yeah,
they don't do any of it at home and they're just doing it those 2 times a week,
yeah,
it's 2 more days of that activity. And I got to tell you, I don't teach it. I'm not an instructor, so I never
right.
get to do the fun part of it, is what I call, you know. So when I got to go out and do it for Angie's group, I was way pumped.
Yeah.
And I drove home that night. Now I did get sick a couple of days later, so maybe that's why. Because it's definitely not because I'm not active.
Oh,
But
who
I went
knows?
to
It could
bed that
just be
night and
that.
my shoulders were so sore, and
Yeah.
my hips, and I was like, oh, maybe I should start bingo sizing.
That's funny. I know sometimes that happens, and you're like, "What is this? Tend to play sick or sore? I don't know. Like, don't know." That's funny. Well, good. Well, very good. Well, I'm glad it worked out, and I'm glad you're better too.
Me
So
too.
that's good. Yeah, coming back. There's been a few people around here that've been kind of out, and so they're coming back. So, which is good, just in time for Christmas. So very good. Well, thank you, Rachel. Is there any other questions for Midland? If not, we're going to move on to Enowa, and I see Caitlin is on as well as Allison. So whichever one wants to go first, you guys can kind of give us an update.
Allison, I think Caitlin's out with one of the drivers. Do you want to go ahead and go first?
Sure. Our participation is up with all of the different holiday parties that they've been having. We are in the process of gathering and getting ready for our monitoring visit, which will be my first. And but talking about being out and being sick, I returned Monday from being out with COVID. But that gave me plenty of time to work and go through and really understand what is coming up with the monitoring visit. So that was kind of good without having the being called out to go to a center because I couldn't. But we look to hopefully in January, February, increase our bingo size options and looking into doing possibly some remote offerings for some of the centers. But that's pretty much from the congregate side. But everything else is going well. We're still doing grab and goes from some of our centers. Some of them, it's really more of informing them that whether they're new and they would like to start coming back because of COVID, or if it's just informing those who are the day-to-day participants that may not be able to be there for one meal because of an appointment or something, that the grab and goes are available so that they could still grab their meal and take it to go to get something, make something somewhere else. And so just kind of getting out more information and working on hopefully partnerships with other area agencies, whether it be our health department or the different senior independent senior living centers. So really working on that kind of direction, hopefully in the beginning of the new year.
Very good. Well, awesome. Well, that sounds really good. And yep, we'll have the monitoring in January. If you have any questions, also, yeah, I mean, just let me know beforehand, and that's gonna be great. It's gonna be absolutely great. And it sounds like you guys are doing great work and expanding even bingo size. Again, that's awesome. And glad you're back from being sick as well. So that's good. That's really good. I know you got it out of the way before Christmas, I suppose. I mean, that's the good thing.
Exactly.
So, well, good. Glad to have you back. Any questions for Allison at Enowa? Thank you so much. And I don't know if Caitlin's on, or she may be still talking with the driver. If not, we can kind of come back. But okay, so all right. Well, we've kind of gone around to everybody. Does anybody else have any questions for anybody else you can think of? Well, I suppose what I can do is I did want to maybe share a couple things with you. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so, all right. We had a presentation over from an individual who was with the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the big office, not the Nebraska office. And they had given us just some information on additional education for nutrition. And so I'll send these websites out and kind of look through them. But there's some great information on SNAP-Ed connections And there's some good stuff on there. Hold on, it's blocking the. Let's see here. SnapEd Education and this one, which is also their SnapEd Toolkit link. And so these two websites I'll send out, but it's kind of cool because you can look at some of the interventions for individuals and who are older adults. Like this one, you can refine. Here's bingo size. So like that's in there. And if you're looking for any other programs, that's in there too. Some of them are free. Most of them are free, but they're fun programs to kind of look at. And you can refine your search here by going to here, and it's for all sorts of age groups. So I didn't know about this until today, which was kind of nice. And older adults is the one I clicked on here. And then you can even look for available languages, race, ethnicity, intervention types, community settings, etc. So if you just click on older adults and I submitted it, there's different tips for education, for nutrition, chronic disease self-management program, cooking matters. So all sorts of things you can look through. So if you're using your nutrition education funding, you can use it for this. Some of them may be a 3D program like Bingo Size. And some of them come from specific like states. So they may have the state name in them or something like that, but they're still applicable to like here Stanford Youth Diabetes Coaching, but they're still applicable to older adults. Now, with this one, this SnapEd connection, this one's kind of neat because you can go to nutrition education once it loads. And then you can scroll down and there's a whole bunch of different things that you can click on. There's stuff even for farmers market. You can go to resources. There's even recipes and menus. Internet's being slow, sorry. Recipes, 50 holiday menus, etc. So also one of the things that pops up is like, this is a program that you can search for. There's different programs and trainings that you can look for. And one of them I found was like this healthy choices for every body adult nutrition education curriculum. And this one, like here's the website, you can click on it. And then it's through University of Kentucky. And this is actually free, which is kind of nice. And you can access the files here. You can kind of go down this rabbit hole of just finding different things, but this is just a resource I wanted to provide y'all with. And I'll provide the links, but you can use their stuff for free, really. And you provide your name, your affiliation, etc. You can just say what you're doing. Let's say you are doing virtual instruction or something like that, or work sites or community direct education, probably be even more applicable. And then you can fill all this stuff out. And then here's conditions for use. Most of them are, some of them are free, but like there may be tiny fees or whatever just to maintain the website or something. And then just agree to it. I'm not going to do it here, but I just wanted to show you that these are out there. These programs are out there, so they're kind of neat. So if you had someone who wanted to take on something new or whatnot, I didn't realize that the SnapEd connection went that far, and so we kind of had a tutorial today over how to use it, which was pretty nice. So I'll send you the links. You can play around with them, but that's the only thing we learned really from our coordinators meeting today. That kind of took up the whole time. this morning. So, but other than that, I think we're wrapping up. I think we've had a pretty good year, it seems. You guys have utilized, everything from expanding 3D programming to, maintaining C1, C2, expanding some of those services. That's been excellent. So I think everybody's done a fabulous job, and I do see Carmen's now on. So we can circle back, and Carmen, do you want to give us an update?
I'm back. Sorry about that.
That's okay, no worries.
I was out running an errand for work.
No worries.
And it was like, whoa, here I am.
No problem.
We are loving the weather, of course, and I miss everybody else's. That makes delivering meals a lot easier. Our meal numbers continue to stay the same. And I will tell everyone that the tray sealers that we have going, I think I might have said this last time, but they are going great guns. Everybody loves them. I don't have them in all of my sites, but it will be a huge help for all of us when, like this next week, when we do that for our Title 20s or people that need weekend meals. We can just grab one of those frozen meals out and add our milk, bread, and fruit to it. And I think it'll be a huge help work-wise to get that done, less labor intensive. So other than that, everything has finished up on my hidden sugars presentation.
Yeah.
It went over well. So other than that, I think we're doing pretty good.
Hey, that's great. And that's so important. That's really cool that you were able to give that presentation, and those are awesome, showing the comparison between different products and different things that people may be consuming each day, and yeah, finding out where some of those hidden sugars are. So that's really cool. That's really neat. Any questions for Carmen, Blue Rivers? Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Was Caitlin back? Northeast cannot make it. They just sent me a note. I don't think Northeast is able to either. That's okay. And Carmen, I kind of told people that probably not going to take the full time here. So it's kind of our end of the year wrap up. So, but other than that, does anybody else have any questions, concerns, things you want to talk about, or?
Are we just going to merge our meeting next month with the farmers market meeting?
No, I'm gonna keep that separate actually,
Okay.
because I'm gonna record it. So yes, and thank you for bringing that up. I should have mentioned that. So next month, we have that scheduled, and I'm gonna try to, I'll have like an agenda that I'll send out prior, and we're gonna try to get all that stuff hashed out prior, and just kind of have like a good session where we know what all parties are doing. And when I mean that, it's mainly like, what's the bank doing, what's ag doing, here, and before that meeting too, it's probably good to tell you, like, ask questions, be vocal. You guys are the ones putting in the hours and hours of doing this, and so, they should be kind of serving you guys. Is kind of my opinion, because you are putting in the work. So the best thing is that you need to get as much out of it as you can. So when we have them on there, feel free to ask questions of them, and tell them what works best, because they may just not know. I don't think that they know. I think that they just do the paperwork and send it off. You guys are actually the ones doing it. So we'll try to have a very constructive, positive, session, but definitely air your concerns if you have any. Let them know, because then we can build from there, and we can say, okay, so what do we need to do to make sure things are constructive and on time, number one, on time going forward, so we don't end up with a mess and people don't end up with, frustrations and on the phone calls that you guys have to take and we have to take, and the confusion and the mailing and, people threatening to, contact their senator if they don't get them, things like that. Just, we want to avoid that again. So we'll just try to make it as constructive as possible. I'll send out an agenda. And if you have questions or something, you feel free to just ask them then, or if you want to send them to me, you can send them to me if you feel comfortable that way, however you want to do it. That's the best thing that we can do, so that we can make sure that they are comfortable and we're comfortable going forward. That's why I wanted to do it in January, because I figured, it's probably a good thing to set things up a good, a few months beforehand. That way we don't end up with this, it's early April and, we're in trouble. So, all right. Thank you again, Rachel, for bringing that up. We want to try to get as much out of that meeting as we can so that we can be all on the same page, in the same book, in the same library. All right. Other than that, any other questions? Anybody do anything fun for break or staying home? Yeah, I'm too. Not really going anywhere, so that's okay.
I just have a tree up. I haven't even finished my shopping yet.
That's all right. It's you know what? I think we're there. We're there too. So don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Just try to make time for yourself if you can. I think that's the biggest thing. So trying to get too stressed. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. You guys have been absolutely wonderful this whole year. It's just really a pleasure to work with all of you, and you all are fantastic. You're doing a great job of serving older adults in your community, and maybe you don't get told that enough, but you really do an excellent, excellent job. So thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it, and hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas, everybody.
Christmas.
Bye.
Merry Christmas, everyone.